Hello and welcome to Size's Cooking Show. This is a blatant ripoff of Robert Rodriguez's 10-Minute Cooking School. However, the theme is slightly different given that this is based off of returning to school, getting my master's degree, and having limited funds. Even with limited funds, anyone can eat quite well if they know how to cook. So today we're going to be talking about how to prepare a French beautiful cuisine that you can impress your friends with, and it doesn't take much time or money. Alright, so let's get started. On your shopping list, you're going to want a few things. You're going to want red wine. You're going to want a cut of some kind of beef, like a steak. The recipe calls for tenderloins, but you don't have to get that. Sometimes that can be pretty expensive, but it cooks the best. You're going to need some real butter, not any of that fake shit, just some excellent real butter. You're also going to want some shallots. If you can't find shallots, you can use your onions if you want. You got to cut them up, dice it up pretty fine, basically one shallot or about a quarter of an onion. Finally, you're going to need some real French bread, something from a bakery, none of that imitation stuff. Anything less will just piss you off. Think about it. First thing we're going to do is we're going to cut up our onions or shallots or whatever that you have. Chop them up pretty fine. We're going to add those to a sauce later that we're going to use from a mixture of the butter and the beef. Then go ahead and grab your steaks. If they're too big, go ahead and dice them up a little bit. Make them work. Get them a little small. It just cooks better that way in the time frame that I'm going to tell you to cook them in, or fry them in butter. That's what makes it taste so good. Now, you can add a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper on each side. Some people say that adding salt to steak that's not cooked yet will dry up the steak, but we're going to cook it so fast it shouldn't really make a difference. So go ahead and light your stovetop. Just a little flicker of the image there. Oh, there we go. Go ahead and let that get hot. At that time, throw your pan on. Throw a little butter in. Should sizzle pretty nice. Wait till it's really, really cooking. You want that at a high flame. At this time, you want to throw your steaks in, and you want to sear the juices in. So you want to cook each side for 60 seconds. After 60 seconds, you want to take those steaks and you want to flip them over. But you want to do 60 seconds each side. After you do each side for 60 seconds, you've seared those juices in, and then you want to cook each side for about 2 minutes and a half, depending on how thick and long the steaks are. Now what you're left with is the juices from the steak, the fat pretty much, with the butter. There are some beautiful steaks right there. But you have an opportunity here to make a delicious sauce. So some things that you want to add is you want to add some flour. It'll help thicken it up. You want to add the shallots that you have. You also want to add some red wine. If you have parsley, salt, and pepper, that'll just add to the flavor if you want to do this. And this is what you're going to top the whole thing with. So this is a very crucial moment. So go ahead and be experimental, and every time you make it, it'll be different. Unless you're like me, then you're a creature of habit and you're just stuck. But you know what? Not too bad. At the same time that you're preparing the shallots, you should already have some sliced up bread. Now, I didn't, but I bought a loaf of French bread, so I sliced it up. Now, what you're going to do with the beautiful bread that you have is you're going to cook it in some more butter, because that's what the French do. And I got to tell you, it tastes really, really good. So it's all right. All right, so let's begin again. We need the pan, and we need some butter. Need it to melt down really good. Probably add a sizzling effect in because it smells so good. All right, so it's back to business. What you want to do is you want to take your pieces of bread that you've cut up, your French bread, and you want to soak it in the butter that you are frying it in. Now, I know it seems just ridiculous to have so much butter in a meal, but it's the French, and you got to love the French because, gosh dang it, they know how to eat, and they make such delicious meals, and they're thin. So think about it. At this point, you take the bread that you just fried in the butter in the pan, and you set it on a plate. At that point, you set your steak that you fried in butter on a plate, and then you cover it with the delicious sauce that you made earlier. Bon appetit.